Hi students, so welcome to this session. In this session I am going to explain about methods to write functions. Okay, so today's topic is methods to write functions. Methods to write functions or categories of functions. Categories of functions. Okay. So methods to write functions or categories of functions. Right here, functions can be written function can be written in four ways. Functions can be written in four ways based on argument and return. Okay, so here functions can be written in four ways based on argument and return. Based on argument and return. Okay, so here first we have to know about argument. So what is an argument? Argument is a value. So what is an argument? Argument is a value. Argument is a value which is sent from calling function to called function. Calling function to called function. Okay. So what is an argument? Argument is a value which is sent from calling function to called function. Okay. So the value which is sent from calling function to called function is called argument. Okay, clear? What is an argument here? Next, what is return? What is return? So here, return is also a value. Return is also a value which I send from called function to calling function. Okay, called function to calling function. So clear? What is an argument? Argument is a value which is sent from calling function to called function. What is return? Return is a value which is sent from called function to calling function. Okay. So by using return statement, a function can return a value from called function to calling function. Okay. So clear? So here what is an argument? Argument is a value which is sent from calling function to called function. Return is a value which is sent from called function to calling function. Okay. So based on or depending upon passing arguments and returning value, functions are categorized into four types. So clear? Based on or depending upon passing arguments and returning value, functions are categorized into four types. Okay, right. So what are the four types of functions? So we will see. Okay, so depending upon passing arguments from calling function to called function and returning value from called function to calling function, functions are categorized into four types. So what are the four types? First one, function with arguments, function with arguments and no return value, no return value. Next, function with no arguments and no return value. Next, function with arguments, no return value. Next, function with no arguments, but returns a value. Next, function with arguments and return value. Okay, so clear, these are the four categories of functions. Okay, so here I am repeating once again. Based on passing arguments from calling function to called function and returning value from called function to calling function, here functions are categorized into four types. So what are the four types? First one, function with no arguments and no return value. Next, function with arguments and no return value. Next, function with no arguments but return value. Next, function with arguments and return value. Okay, so clear? Methods to write functions or categories of functions. Okay, so here functions can be written in four ways based on argument and return. What is an argument? It is a value which is sent from calling function to called function. So what is return? Value which is sent from called function to calling function. Okay, so depending upon passing arguments from calling function to called function and returning value from called function to calling function, functions are categorized into four types. Okay, so these are the four categories of functions. Okay, so in the next session we will see about these functions in detail. Okay, thank you.